Let's get going. Brilliant. Lovely to see you all on this Sunday morning. So you might want for the practice today a cushion, a blanket, something soft to sit on, because we are going to start in a seated position today. So if you, and the focus is on the back of the body, on the spine. So if when you're seated, and you don't have to sit cross-legged, but if when you're seated, you notice you've got the tendency to do this, and a lot of us do, because the muscles around our back are a little bit weaker, or indeed the muscles around our core aren't quite as strong, then what is useful is getting yourself a little bit of height, slide it underneath your bottom, and you can see instantly it kind of helps me prop upright. It drops my pelvis forward and just lifts my hips a little bit. So if you want to do that, let me just get these people in. Great. Come on in, guys. Come on in. We just started. We're starting in a seated position this morning. So come on in. Come on in. Right then. So it was officially the vernal equinox yesterday, the first day of spring. And I was saying on Wednesday that spring, according to Chinese philosophy, Chinese medicine, is a season that is associated with the spine, with spinal health. Unsurprisingly, when we think about nature and what's going on around us, growth and things growing taller around us, these new shoots of life coming up, our spine is what helps us kind of grow taller and lifts us up and out of our hips. So we're going to be focusing on our spine today. So coming to a comfortable seated position then, like I say, you can always elevate your hips slightly by sliding something underneath your bottom. Let's just bring the hands to comfortably rest on your knees with your palms facing down, getting nice and comfortable, lovely. So I'm going to slide the hands just back towards the top of your thighs there, fingertips still pointing towards your knees. And as you begin to straighten the arms, pressing into your thighs, bring the shoulders up towards your ears, so we're shortening the neck a little bit. Lovely. We'll take a big breath in. And as you breathe out, allow the shoulders to slide down away from the ears, but try and keep your heart lifted, keeping that length through the spine. We'll do that twice more. So as you inhale, you press down with your hands, bring the shoulders up, 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 feel the spine lengthen. And then as you exhale, let the shoulders drop, but try and keep that length and openness through the back and the front of the body. One more time, inhaling, pressing down, lifting up, exhale as you release, and this time let the shoulders slide down the back. You can either keep the hands where they are or just turn the palms up towards the ceiling, a little softness in the elbows, so the elbows just drawing back towards the side of the body. Closing the eyes if you're comfortable, or just softening the gaze just to a point in front of you. Maybe dropping your chin down ever so slightly just to open up through the back of the neck. But again, keeping that nice length through the back of the body. Lovely. So, as adults, most of us have 24 movable vertebrae in our back. Starting with our neck, our cervical spine, tiny, tiny vertebrae that go right up to the base of the skull there. 12 in our thoracic spine, our middle back, and then 5 in our lower back, around our sacrum. We're born with 33 vertebrae, but the rest of them become fused as we grow up, as we get older, as we become an adult, to form the coccyx and our sacrum, that big kind of plate right at the base of the spine for stability. So what we're going to try and do this morning is take our spine, this marvelous piece of bodily architecture, through the range of movement to keep it healthy and flexible. There's a lovely quote by Joseph Pilates. He said, "You're only as young as your spine is flexible." And those of us who struggle with back pain or stiffness will know just how uncomfortable and how aging indeed that can be. So it's incumbent on us to try and keep our spine as healthy as possible. So as we just settle into our space this morning, just letting the knees drop away, opening up through the hips. Let's take a nice deep breath in, breathing in through the nose, the throat, and then down into the lungs. And as you exhale, imagine that breath leaving the lungs, coming up to the throat and then out of the nose or the mouth if you're a little bit blocked in the nose this morning. So breathing in, nose, traveling down the throat and deep down into the lungs, right down into the lower lobes of the lungs, and then exhaling the lungs, the throat, and out of your nose or your mouth. Just doing a couple more breaths like that. Just visualizing each time you inhale, trying to find a little bit more length and height, lifting up and out of your hips, whatever that means to you this morning, without flaring the ribs forward. So try and think about a softness through the front of your body, front body meeting back body, but a lengthening up and out of your sitting bones. Keep the shoulders soft, keep the face relaxed. Lovely. And then we'll all just drop the chin down towards your chest. Try and keep the body nice and upright, and just take a little roll of the head from side to side. So the chin just traveling from collarbone to collarbone, ear to shoulder, just opening up through the sides of the neck there. Or you might feel it into your shoulders a little bit. And then just bringing the chin to center. Let's bring the hands to the heart. Chin dropping down to chest, lifting breastbone to meet thumbs. So just feel a little uplift through the front of the body. Lovely. And then as you lift the chin parallel to the floor, as you inhale, let's sweep the arms up. The chin might lift, growing really tall, lifting out to the hips. And as you exhale, hands to heart, chin to chest, thumbs meeting breastbone, breastbone meeting thumbs. Twice more. Inhale. So feel that lovely lengthening and lifting through the sides of the body. Exhale, hands to hearts, chin coming down to chest. Last one, inhale. Now we're going to add on this next time. So exhaling, hands to heart, chin to chest. Last time, we're going to add a little twist. So inhaling, try and lengthen up through the spine. And then from that length, we'll twist to the right. So left hand travels across your knee or thigh, other hand just settling behind you, fingertips finding the floor. If you're up on some props and you want to slide them away, feel free. So it's really nice before we come into a twist to do that lengthening, to find a little bit of space between each vertebrae that we can then settle into. So again, we'll take a couple of breaths here, each inhale, lifting you up and out of your hips. And each exhale, you might find a little bit more rotation, but we're not forcing that. Still early days, warming up through the spine. Feel that lovely rotation through the middle back. And then just pressing down a little bit more firmly with that left hand. On your next inhale, sweep the right arm up. And exhale, let's take it all the way over. So right hand reaching up and over, pressing that right thigh or knee down. Lovely. So we're getting a lovely lateral extension now. Sideways flexion through the spine. Lovely. We'll come all the way back up. Keep that right arm lifted. We're going to come into eagle arms. So options, you can either bring fingertips to shoulder. So you've just got your hands on the shoulders. Or come into full eagle arm. So right arm wrapping on top of left arm. Soften the shoulders. Lovely. We'll lift the elbows away from the chest, fingertips to ceiling. Take an inhale. Exhale, we're going to round the back now. So think about bringing your elbows towards your belly button. Little finger edges of the hand pointing forwards and down. Lovely. Inhale, lifting up. Elbows slide away from the chest. Keep the shoulders soft. Exhale as you round. So you're just pressing the outer blades of the hand down, finding space between the shoulder blades. One more time, inhaling up. Exhaling down, just pause, and they're still rounding through the spine. So you're hugging your belly button towards your spine. You're getting that lovely rounding through the back. And then sitting up nice and tall. So just if you've got your wrist crossed, if you're an eagle, we'll let go of the hands and sweep the arms in front of the face, like you're taking a big jump off, bringing the hands all the way back behind you so you can interlace them. Roll the shoulders down and away from the ears as you pull the knuckles down towards the floor. Some of you might be able to lift your arms a little further away from you without the body leaning forward. So keep a nice upright posture there. Beautiful. You might lift your chin. Take one more deep breath in there. And as you breathe out, release, bring the hands to the floor, give the legs a little shake. You can bounce the knees and then recross them the opposite way. Feel a little bit weird there. Lovely. So hands to heart, chin to chest, soften the shoulders, sit up nice and tall, take a big breath in as you reach up. Lovely, one of these just to lengthen, exhale, hands to heart, chin to chest. We're going to come straight into that twist to the left this time. So inhaling, reaching up, find that length, and try and keep that length as you exhale to the left. Right hand coming across this time, other hand, I'm going to come up onto tented fingertips with that left hand. So I'm propping myself forwards and up, nice long spine. Drawing that left shoulder back, you might find there's enough rotation in your cervical spine, your neck, to turn your gaze to look over your back shoulder. If that's uncomfortable, keep the head in a more neutral position, looking to the side, or you can even look straight in front of you. We're focusing on bringing out the middle back. Take one more deep breath in to lift up, and exhale, see if you can find again that lovely rotation through the middle back. And then pressing that right hand down a little bit more firmly. Left arm lifts up as you inhale. Just take a little reach over. So we've still got the body twisted a little bit. Just looking underneath the left armpit. Again, lateral movement through the spine. Sideways flexion there, lovely. Reaching that left arm all the way up towards the ceiling, coming into eagle arms. So either just bringing your fingertips onto your shoulders, or this time we've got left arm wrapping on top of right arm. Elbows sliding away, and the side waist was tighter for me. Take an inhale. Exhale, we round the back, hugging those elbows in towards your navel and just dropping the blades of the little fingers away from you. Inhale, lifting up. So elbows away from the chest. Lovely. Exhale to round. Oh, I can really feel that this morning. One more. Inhaling up. And we'll pause around. So you might just have your fingertips on your shoulders, which is fine. You're still getting that rounding action, still hollowing out through the belly. Lovely. And then wherever we are, we'll lift ourselves up, letting go of the hands or the shoulders. And then we'll sweep the arms in front of the face like you're taking off that big jumper, bringing the hands behind you. And again, you can just hug the knuckles straight down, or take the arms a little further away from you, but just make sure that the body doesn't roll forwards as a counterbalance. Keeping the chest nice and lifted. Lovely. Going to bring the hands down to the floor. Come around the other way. And uncross the legs. We're going to bring the feet to the floor in front of you. Make sure you've got some space behind you. So we're going to come to lie down in an unusual way. So hands underneath your thighs there. Just slide the feet in towards you, coming up on your tiptoes, lifting up nice and tall. And you can stay there this morning in your version of boat pose. You can lift one shin and then the other, trying to keep that nice length through the spine. So you might just want to start here this morning. You might be able to come up into your boat pose and hold. So the shins are parallel to the floor. So we're working the front body and the back body there. Nice long posture. You might reach the arms out. Lovely. And then here's our challenge. We're going to try and extend the legs out in front of you and lower the upper body towards the floor. Lovely. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to come back into boat. Lovely. So inhale as you extend, extending the legs, lowering down. Lovely. And then exhale, coming all the way back up. Lovely. Can we do one more? Inhale. Lovely. And exhale. Lovely. So this time we're going to extend the legs, extend the upper body, and slowly, slowly bring the heels down, bring the head down, and reach the arms back behind you. Full axial extension. That lovely length through the spine. And as you come into that full body stretch, have a little circle of the wrists and the feet there, a little playful movement, maybe a wiggle of the hips. Lovely one to open up some space from top to toe. And then we'll take a nice inhale in that extension. And as you exhale, let's bring the right knee in towards your chest. So you might need to slightly adjust your pelvis there. Hug the knee in. Bring your knee in towards your chest. Chin to chest. Nice long neck. And stretch away through that left heel. So we're getting a lovely stretch through the lower back now. And then we'll start to circle that right knee. So you might just use your right hand. Take the knee round in little circles one way and then the other, opening up through the hips. So I said we weren't just going to work the back, didn't we? We'll get into the hips as well. And then we'll bring the knee to center and then circle the foot. So little twirls through the ankle, keeping the toes moving. And Chinese medicine dictates, take the foot around the opposite way, that spring is also the season of joints. So again, let's keep our joints fluid and nice and lubricated as we take that movement round. Lovely. So keeping the knee to the chest, we're going to slide that left heel back in towards you, foot to floor, knee points up towards the ceiling, as we interlace the hands around the back of the right leg and take it up into a hamstring stretch. And from there, just point and flex your foot, matching that movement with the breath, inhaling in one direction, exhaling the other. It really doesn't matter which breath matches which movements, just slow it down. Lovely. Then keeping that foot flexed, begin to push the heel up towards the ceiling. But feel a little bit of resistance now as your back of the leg presses against your hands and your hands press back, opening up some space through the back of the leg. Lovely. You're going to bend that right knee, keep the foot flexed, and bring the right ankle just on top of your left knee for a reclined pigeon. Right hand to your inner knee or thigh. Gently press the knee away. An option, as I like to do, is then just begin to shift the weight from buttock to buttock. I just find it's a nice release from my lower back and gets into my right hip a little bit more. But if that's not for you this morning, then just keep still in the middle. Lovely. Option to continue with that gentle rocking, or if you want more, come back to center. Lifting head and shoulders, we're going to bring the legs towards you. Take the hands between the legs and either hold behind the left thigh or in front of your left shin, so just below the knee. Then lower head, lower shoulders. If you're holding on the front of the shin, you're going to squeeze that left heel closer in towards your buttocks, so you're going to feel a much deeper sensation probably through that right hip. And again, I just like to kind of move there, and you reach that spot. If I kind of just rock my way over to the left, I can just get into a really tight spot on my right hip. So have a little play there. See if you can find that spot that's a little bit tight this morning. Maybe just hold there for a breath or two. And then we'll come all the way back through center. Let's bring the left foot to the floor. Right foot to the floor, coming back into that axial extension, that full body stretch, reaching the arms back, stretching out through the legs, a little wiggle of the toes, and roll through the feet, wiggle through the hips. Take one more deep inhale there, and then we'll slide that left knee in. So give that knee a hug. Again, just make sure that the neck hasn't shortened, the chin is still drawn in. Stretch that right heel away from you. And get that lovely stretch through the nice sort of lateral stretch through the muscles of the low back. And then we'll just circle the left knee. So you can just use your left hand if you want. You can open and close the knee if a circle is a little bit uncomfortable on your hip today. So a few in one direction. And then we'll take the knee around the opposite way. We'll take it round. One side might feel a little bit different. And then knee coming to chest, holding on around the knee. We'll bring that movement to the foot. Again, just before we come into any weight bearing, standing poses or downward dog, we'll just warm up through the peripherals of the body, the hands and the feet. So turning the ankle and then sliding that right heel back in. So foot to floor, knee to ceiling, holding on around the back of the left leg. We'll take the leg up towards the ceiling and we'll start that little pointing and flexing, syncopating that movement with your breath. So some of us who struggle with tight hamstrings, that in turn can pull our backs and lead to pain in our lower back. And equally, when our hamstrings are a little bit weak, that in turn can affect our back. So with a flexed foot, push the foot up towards the ceiling, opening up some space through the hamstring and stretch it out, and we'll come to strengthen it in a minute. It's lovely. And then keeping the foot flexed, we'll come into that reclined pigeon. So left ankle, just rest just above your right knee there. Gently opening the knee out to the side. And then again, you might want that little rock, shift from side to side. And one side might feel different. This side doesn't feel quite as tight. It's always my right side that's much tighter. So if one side feels tighter and you want to stay here, feel free, or coming to that full reclined pigeon, lifting head and shoulders, feeding the hands between the legs. Remember, behind the thigh for less of a stretch. In front of the shin, just below the knee, as you lower head, lower shoulders, you'll feel a much more deep stretch, intense sensation. And again, you might just want to have a little play, I find, again, just by rolling towards my right, ever so slightly, using my left elbow to try and press that knee away. I can just find, a little tight spot there that needs a bit of a stretch this morning. So have a play. If you want to keep the body central, then feel free, just a personal preference of mine, to shift. Lovely. Let's come all the way back to center. If like me, you've rolled, and we'll bring the right foot to the floor, left foot to the floor, feet hip width apart now, getting ready for a bridge pose. So heels close to your bottom, hands down alongside you. Lovely. So we'll press into the feet and we'll take the hips up towards the ceiling as you breathe in, pushing the hips up. And as you breathe out, let's lower all the way back down. Lovely. So, and again, as you inhale, push the hips up. So it might just be a little lift. So this time we're strengthening that back seam of the body. We stretch, so now we strengthen. Lovely. Let's do that one more. So this time we'll pause and hold at the top. So you might just be quite low in your shoulder bridge this morning. Some of you might have come onto that kind of flat area between your shoulder blades there, that natural kind of resting point. Chest coming up towards your chin. So if you can lift your hips, push your chest up towards your chin a little higher. And then if it's comfortable, we're going to lift the heels. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to roll our way down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Lovely. Beautiful. And then when the hips touch down, let the heels drop. Walk your feet a little wider apart towards the outside of your mat. Bring the arms out level with the shoulders. Last one on our backs. Take an inhale. Exhale, tick-tock the knees to the right. Roll your chin to your left shoulder. And then roll with the breath now. Inhaling to center. Exhaling, knees to the left, face to the right. So you might be moving faster or slower than me. I like to kind of just roll across my heels so my toes are lifted a little bit. So just to kind of roll across the back of my heels. I'm going to do one more over to the right, reaching the arms apart, nice open chest there. Again, taking our spine through a twist now. Lovely. Then we'll come all the way back to center. Roll your knees over to the right and then roll all the way over onto your right side, using that left hand to push the floor away. And we're going to come up onto all fours. So I'm going to face you for this one. So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. And just make sure that you haven't got your hands so close to your knees that your spine is shortened. So you've got a nice long spine there, coming into that tabletop. So crown of the head, tips of the ears pointing forwards, tailbone lengthening back, firm up through the belly as you press into your hands. Really spread the fingers nice and wide. Lovely. And coming into that beautiful cat-cow, such a lovely one too. Ripple movement through the front and the back of the body. Dipping the belly, tilt the tailbone up. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. And as you exhale, angry cat, rounding up, dropping chin down towards your chest. Lovely as you tuck the tailbone under. Closing the eyes as you just move now with your breath pattern. So you might be moving faster or slower than me. And as you bring the body forwards on an inhale, make sure you're still pressing into your hands. You're not disappearing into your shoulders there. Lovely. Let's do one more. Inhale. Head and heart coming forwards. Chin just lifted parallel to the floor. We're not shortening the back of the neck. Remember, the neck is an extension of the spine. And then exhale as you come into that angry cat. And pause in that lovely angry cat. Tailbone tucked under. And then just add a little swing of your hips, gently pushing them from side to side. So a really nice one just to get into the lower back. So again, lateral flexion, sideways movement through the spine. And you might start to turn your head in the same direction as your hips. So left ear coming to left shoulder as you swing the hips to the left. And right ear to right shoulder as you swing your hips to the right. So you're making a little C curve through the body. Lovely. Let's come all the way back through center. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. And this time as you exhale around the back, then bring our hips down towards our heels, coming into a child pose. But we're going to keep moving now. So inhale, draw the head and the heart forwards, back onto all fours, arching the back. Exhale as you round back into that child pose, keeping the tailbone tucked under. Lovely. Adding on, inhale, coming up, reaching the right arm forwards and up. Exhale, sit back into your child pose. Right arm reaches all the way back towards that right foot. Sweep the arm along the floor. Inhale, reaching forwards and up. Exhale, you might look back as you reach back. Lovely. Let's do that once more. Inhale. It's called swimming cat. Exhale. I can't testify as to whether or not cats swim like this. Inhale, we'll take that arm all the way up, coming into a twist now. So reaching that right arm up, You might look up or keep the gaze down. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to feed that right arm underneath, coming into our thread needle. So back of the hand slides away from you, coming down onto the side of the temple there. You might want to adjust your left hand slightly. Elbow points up towards the ceiling. And take a little lean of the body towards that right shoulder. So lean your weight a little bit more into that right shoulder. Now, if you can, if you already feel a little bit unbalanced, then stay here. If you're okay with it, left leg, you extend out to the side, so your big toe is pointing forwards. So we're coming into gate pose, which indeed is where we're heading in a minute. Lovely. So you're using the foot to, again, shift the weight a little bit more into that right shoulder. Lovely. And then pressing into that left hand, let's come all the way back up, hands underneath the shoulders. If you haven't taken your left leg out to the side, now's the time to do it. And then we'll all walk our way up into a gate pose. So left leg out to the side, big toe pointing forwards, trying to press the little toe edge of your hand in towards the mat, reaching the arms out. Let's take a nice breath in. As you breathe out, let's bring the right arm all the way up and over into a nice side stretch. Lovely. Inhale back to center. Pop the hips up to the left as you reach the right arm down. Left arm reaches up and over, fingertips hovering off the floor. Lovely. Inhale to center, hips to center. Last time, over to the left. Or getting that lovely sideways flexion again through the spine. Inhale. And this time as you exhale, you can either pause there, popping the hips up to the left, fingertips to floor, or bringing the hand forward slightly so you can shift your weight forward. You've got a nice long belly, reaching that right arm, left arm up towards the ceiling. Lovely. Beautiful. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, use a bit of momentum to come all the way back through center. Lovely. So right arm, we're going to twist to the left. So right arm comes forwards and then bring it down to the floor. Again, shift the weight forward. So elongate through the body. So crown of head comes forwards and reach that left arm up towards the ceiling. Lovely. Again, you can look up. You might even be leaning back a little bit. Spine long, belly long. And then as you look down, bring both hands back under the shoulders, both knees under the hips. If you want to give the hands a little shake, a little twirl of the wrist, feel free. Press into your hands. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. Exhale, back into child pose. Moving now with the breath. Inhale, pull forwards and up. Arching through the back. Exhale to round. Lovely. Ready for that swimming cat on the other side. So inhale, come forwards and up. This time, left arm reaches forwards and up. Exhale, hips to heels, reach back, maybe look back. Lovely. Left arm, so the fingertips trail along the floor as you reach up and draw that big arc through the arm. Exhale. Lovely. Great one for the shoulder as well. Inhale and exhale. Lovely. So we're going to hold in a twist this time. So we're going to come all the way up. So left arm reaching up. Lovely. Again, long belly, long back. Take an inhale into that thread needle. So left arm feeds underneath. So you're coming down onto the side of the head there. If you can't quite get your head to the floor, if you've got your prop hand, you can always prop it underneath your temple. I'm just going to bring my right hand, just adjust it so it's alongside my face, elbow points up towards the ceiling. And then gently lean towards the left. So I'm just leaning the weight into that left shoulder. So option to stay there. Again, if you're already feeling, that's more than enough today. Well, this time it's the right leg you extend. So the big toe points forwards. Lovely. And again, you use the leg for a little bit of extra traction to lean into that left shoulder. Beautiful. Pressing into the right hand. Let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders. If you haven't got the right leg extended, now's the time to do it. And then walk the hands back towards you. As we come up into that gate pose, taking the arms out. Lovely. So just make sure that the bottom isn't swinging back, hips are pushed forwards. Take an inhale as you reach the arms apart. Exhale, left arm comes up and over this time. Lovely. Inhale through center. Exhale, pop the hips to the right and reach the left fingertips towards the floor. They're not going to get there, they're going to hover. So we're strengthening up through the side of the body. Inhale, everything back to center. Last time, over to the right. Beautiful. Inhale to center. Lift the hips a little bit over to the right as we bring either the fingertips towards the floor, or you're going to have to bring the hands slightly forwards so you can draw the chest forwards. Lovely. Reaching the Right arm up towards the ceiling, pushing the hips forwards. You can look up or keep the gaze down. Lovely, let's take one more inhale. And as you exhale, push the floor away, come all the way back up, a little bit of momentum. So this time, left arm comes forwards. And again, as you bring the hand down, think about bringing your chest forward. So shoulder above wrist, right arm reaches up. Lovely, that lovely twist. Again, great for the back. And then we'll bring both hands down, bring both knees underneath the hips, their hands underneath the shoulders. And then tuck the toes under and come into a downward dog now, taking the pressure off the knees. If you want to stay on all fours, feel free. If you're joining me in a downward dog, take an inhale as you press into your hands and arch the back. And as you exhale, let's lift the hips up into a downward dog. Let's start to walk our dog this morning. We'll pedal out through the feet, bending one knee and then the other, again, trying to marry that movement with the breath. Beautiful. And then as you come to stillness, think about the spine now. So we get so focused on our heels touching the floor that we forget that downward dog is actually a lovely stretch for the back. So bend the knees, press your rib cage towards your thighs, and really think about elongating the spine. So tailbone is pressing up and away on the diagonal. And really press the floor away. So you're pressing into your knuckles as well as the heel of the hand. You might be able to drop the heels down, but some of us, the heels will never touch the floor. That's fine. But get that lovely sense of lengthening up through the back of the body. Beautiful. Gorgeous. And then from there, let's take the right leg all the way up behind you. Take an inhale as you lift the leg. And as you exhale, let's bring the foot all the way back down to the floor. Lovely. Other side, left leg lifting. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Need to turn around. This time we're going to take the right leg all the way up. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to step that right foot forwards between your hands. Lovely. So we're going to hop the back heel in. Ready for a warrior two. So leading with that left arm, big windmill. Going to come all the way up. Woo, take your time into our warrior two. So right foot pointing forwards, left foot. You can either just slide the heel out slightly pigeon toe. So you've got a softness in the heel, in your hip there. Beautiful. So left hand, I'm going to bring onto your left hip there. So reach forwards with the right arm, take an inhale. And as you exhale and reverse your warrior, think about drawing that left hip back and down. So we're not collapsing in the underneath waist there. We're opening up some space there. Beautiful. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, windmill the hands down and drop the back knee all the way to the floor. Beautiful. You can keep the toes tucked. You can flatten the foot, yogi's choice. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, we're going to cactus the arms, draw the elbows down. Lovely, great one to strengthen the chest and the back. And again, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale as you cactus. Beautiful. Last time, inhaling up. This time we're going to pause in that cactus, so elbows drawing down. Now you can keep the body upright, head over heart, heart over hips, or start to lift the chest. So the tips of the elbows point forward, so fingertips point back, and we come into a gentle back bend. So think about lifting up through the heart. Beautiful. Everything comes back to center. Reach the arms up as you inhale. And as you exhale, hands land, framing that front foot. Left hand stays on the floor. Let's take the right arm up, so you're turning towards your right knee. Option to stay there this morning, or lift the back knee, stretching that heel away from you. Let your powering out. Lovely. Beautiful. Take one more inhale there. And as you exhale, both hands come to the inside of your front foot. And we're going to take a little turn to the long edge of the mat. So have a pivot, all 10 toes facing forwards there. Hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to have a little shift of the weight from side to side. So a little rock, inhale to center, and then exhale, send the hips in one direction. And back to center, and then over to the other side. So a little one just to stretch out through the inner thighs here. Beautiful. We'll come all the way back through center. Now you might just want to slightly shorten your stance if you feel wibbly wobbly. turning your heels in, your toes out. Now walk up the legs, coming into a horse stance. So just make sure that the body isn't leaning forwards. Imagine your spine is up against a wall. So we've got a beautiful plumb line through the body. I'm going to bring the hands and interlace them just around the lower belly there. Lovely. This is a lovely Drew yoga sequence. It's part of an earth flow and quite appropriate for spring. Lovely. So we're going to straighten the legs and draw the hands up towards your heart, almost like a coffee press. Take an inhale. Exhale, as you bend the knees, you push the palms down, again like that coffee plunger. Slight round to the back now. As you inhale, chin to chest. Sweep the arms all the way up as you straighten the legs. And as you exhale, we'll come all the way back down, bringing the hands to the belly as you bend the knees. Lovely. And again, inhale, draw the hands up to the heart. Exhale, push the palms down, quite active there. Keep the body as though it's sliding against a wall. Round the back. Inhale, scooping all the way up. Exhale, send those knees out towards the little toe. Lovely, just one more. Inhale. It's a lovely one to do to kind of settle when you're feeling a bit discombobulated. Inhaling up. Exhaling all the way back down. So this time, then bring the hands all the way up towards the ceiling, coming into a star pose. So reach the arms out nice and wide. Turn your toes forwards. Reach out through the fingertips. Lift the chest. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to take a forward fold all the way back down. Hands to floor, softening the knees as much as you need to. Lovely. So walking the hands to frame your right foot. Frame your right foot. So take a little pivot on the back foot. We're going to step back into our downward facing dog. Option to take a child pose there. Or a little vinyasa. Inhale, roll the body forwards to plank. Lovely. And as you exhale, downward facing dog, a little bit of strength. Now imagine now you're leading with the back of your neck. Inhale, unfold the spine into your plank. Top of the inhale, you look forwards, length of the neck. Exhale, look back between your heels, downward facing dog. One more, or again, you might be in a child pose. Inhale, back of the neck leads the way. Top of the inhale, you look forwards. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. So from your downward dog, again, think about lengthening up through the spine. And then this time it's the left leg leading. So inhale, take the left leg all the way up. And as you exhale, left foot steps forwards between the hands. Drop that back heel in. Take a moment to walk that front foot between your hands. And then it's your right arm that leads the way. Woo! Big windmill. All the way up. You get a little head rush. Just pause. Beautiful. Reaching the arms apart. And again, just make sure you're not being pulled forwards into the future. You're here and now. Head over heart, heart over hips. Right hand to back hip. So we'll reach forwards with that left arm. And then as you come into your lovely reverse warrior, actively draw that back hip down. So you're keeping a nice long right waist there. Lovely. Sending that left knee forwards. Strong in the legs. Inhale back into your warrior. Exhale, we'll take that little cartwheel of the hands down. Frame the front foot, pick up the back heel, drop the back knee. So we're in that low lunge. Ready for those cactus arms. So inhale, sweep the arms up, lift the chest. Exhale, elbows draw down. So again, we've got a nice straight spine there. Inhale, sweep the arms up. So spread the fingers, active hands there. Exhale, lovely. Just feel the muscles of the upper back working, chest opening. Last time, inhaling up. Exhale, elbows draw down. You can stay there. So again, head over heart, heart over hips, or begin to lift the chest so the tips of the elbows point forwards and the tips of the fingers just point backwards a little bit. So we're opening up through the chest. You maybe lift the chin to look up. Lovely, little baby back bend. Lovely, come back to center, reach the arms up. And then framing that front foot, hands come all the way down. So this time it's the left arm that lifts. You're turning towards your front knee. Towards the front knee, lovely. You might want to stay there this morning, or again, tuck the back toes, lift that right knee, power out through the heel, draw the chest forwards. You might even lean that top arm back a little ways. Beautiful. Then hands come to the inside of the front foot. You're going to turn the toes so they all point forward. So we're back into that forward fold. But this time, let's walk the hands forward slightly. So you're elongating through the front body, elongating through the spine, hands underneath the shoulders. Looking towards your right hand. As you inhale, let's float the right arm up, coming into a twist, but trying to keep the hip points relatively still. Exhale as you bring that hand back underneath the shoulder. Other side, so looking towards that left arm if you can, looking up as you reach up, and then all the way down. Lovely. One more each way. So keep the onus on a long belly and a long back. So just make sure you're not dropping the weight back towards your heels. Lovely. So when the left hand comes down to the floor, we'll walk the hands back towards you, dropping the heels in and the toes turning out, hands to thigh, and coming all the way up into that goddess. Let me adjust the camera so you can see all of me this time. Beautiful. So again, we're not leaning forward, so draw the shoulders back. Lovely. Interlacing the hands. Draw the hands to heart as you inhale. So palms face up, palms press down. Exhale, body stays upright. And now we round the back as you inhale, pushing the palms up, up, up. And then exhaling, release the hands, squeezing the knees out towards the little toe. Lovely. Twice more. So it's a great one to ground into our feet, into our foundations. Lovely. Growing really tall. Inhale. Exhale, spring, that season of the earth. Everything growing back up, giving us hope of better times ahead. Lovely. All the way up. And all the way down. So this time we're going to bring the hands all the way up. And then reaching out on the diagonal, turn your toes forward. So it's called star pose. So really take up as much space as you can. Reach the arms on the diagonal, push into your feet. You might even lift your chin a little ways. Lovely. And then we'll bring the hands to the hips this time. So elbows just squeeze back behind you. So we've got a lovely long and open chest. Take an inhale. Exhale, we're going to fold halfway. Halfway. Lovely. If that's too much for the back, just bring your hands onto your thighs for a little bit of extra support. If you're okay in the back, firm up through the belly, hug your navel towards your spine and reach the arms out. Palms down towards the floor. Reach the arms out nice and wide. Lovely. Take one more inhale there. And as you exhale, we'll all bring the fingertips to the floor, back into that forward fold. Lovely. So from our forward fold, we're going to toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, your feet together. Lovely. So from there, we're going to lift the heels up. So come onto your tiptoes. And from there, bring your bottom down, down, down until you're in a little squat position. So you're balanced on your heels. If that is really uncomfortable for whatever reason, balance, you can always drop down onto your bottom and do the twist from there, or come into hero pose and just sit back on your heels. If you're with me in that little squat, fingertips on the floor, you can stay there, or little challenge, hand to knee, push the knees down and lift the chest up. Woo! So again, we've got a nice long spine. Option to stay there, focus on balance, or bring the hands to the heart. Lovely, take an inhale. And as you exhale, take a little twist to the right. Lovely. Option to bring the left hand to the outer thigh and reach the right arm back. Ooh, beautiful. Come all the way back to center. Let's bring the fingertips to floor. Lift the hips. Have a little walk out through the feet, little shift of the knees, bending one and then straightening the other. And then we'll come back into that little squat. Lift the heels, sink the hips. So you're just perched on your heels there. Again, option to stay there, fingertips on the floor. Option to sit down or take hero pose or hand to knee. Ooh, beautiful. So you're lifting the chest as the knees press down, hands to heart. Option to stay there if you want that little balance. Again, we take the twist to the left this time, keep the knees pointing forwards. Right hand to outer thigh, left arm reaches back. This is my wibbly wobbly side. If you're super challenged, you look back towards that back thumb. I'm not that brave. Hands come all the way back to the heart. Fingertips find the floor. Just drop down onto your knees. pop your feet to one side and swish the legs out in front of you. Give them a little bit of a shake there. Ooh, that was a challenge. You can have a little wiggle of your toes there. So sitting up nice and tall. So again, if you find that you are slumping, that your back is tired, again, pop something underneath your bottom, sliding the flesh of your sit bones out, of your buttocks out to the side so you can find your sit bones. Then come into a position called staff pose. So it's a strong pose. So flexing the feet, try and pull all your toes towards you, including your little toes. Some of you might even get your heels off the floor. And then sliding the heel of the hand back towards your hips. Now my palms don't go flat to the floor, my arms are too short, so I'm going to come onto fists. So pressing the hands or the fist down, think about really elongating up and out of your hips. So it's called staff or stick pose. So great to work the muscles of the back. Lovely. All 10 toes pulling towards you, feet strongly flexed. Lovely. Let's take one more round of breath there. Gorgeous. And then butterfly the thumbs. So you just hook one thumb in front of the other. Imagine you want to pull the thumbs apart as you sweep the arms all the way up. See if you can grow a little taller up and out of your hips. Take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, soften the knees, release the arms and come into a generous fold over the legs. Let the head hang. Maybe have a little shake of the head gently from side to side there. Let's drop that down. Beautiful. Oh, some of you might have the knees very generously bent. Others of you, the legs might be a little bit straighter. Whatever works for you. Beautiful. And then slowly, slowly we'll rebuild the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. I'm going to slide your right heel in towards you. Keep sitting up nice and tall there as we cross, if you can, your right foot over your left foot there. We're going to keep the left leg extended today. So left hand or left elbow brings that knee in towards the chest. So think about lifting up before we twist. So taking that right arm all the way up, a big circle, brings either the fingertips to the floor or, like me, I'm going to wrap the hand around my low back, and some of you might even be able to tuck it into your left waist. Think about lifting up and out of the hips. Again, we're not leaning back there, so you're using the elbow or hand to bring the knee in and lift the spine up. Maybe close the eyes there as you settle into a couple of nice, generous breaths, breathing into that twist. Slowly releasing, we'll come all the way back. Now bring that right foot back, just bringing it to the inside of your left thigh, letting that knee drop down. If you need to prop your knee up, you can always pop your cushions or blanket underneath that right knee. So left leg is extended. Take the arms up, take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to come forwards over the left leg. And if you feel that your body is veering off to the left or the right, use that right hand on the outside of your left foot or shin or thigh to try and bring the body down more or less square over that extended leg. Try and relax the right knee down to the floor. Think about elongating through the back body. Might be a generous bend in that left knee. Lovely. Slowly, slowly, we'll roll ourselves back up. We're going to zigzag the legs. Just going to tuck that left knee back behind you. If that doesn't work for you, then keep the leg extended, but just take it out slightly on the diagonal. Right hand behind right hip. Going to reach the left arm up on the diagonal, option to stay there, or look back towards the right hand and push the hips forwards and up. Lovely. So we're coming into a gentle back bend as we push the hips up, reaching the arm up. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, lower the hips, sweep that arm in front of the face and take a little twist to the left. Right hand coming across the body. Other hand behind, so we're just taking that twist to the left, opposite way to the way that we went before. Beautiful. And then bring both hands behind you so you can lean into your hands, up the legs out, give them a little shake. And then we'll draw the left foot in. Foot to floor. You can always keep it on the inside of the leg this morning or crossing it over. Make sure your bottom hasn't lifted. Right hand or elbow. If you need to lean forwards to find your knee with your elbow, make sure you're sitting up nice and tall before you come into that twist. So take that circle. So open up through the shoulder. Fingertips find the floor or wrap the hand behind you. Some of you might even find your right waist there. Stretching out. So don't forget what that right foot's doing. Keep it nice and active there. Nice and tall. Ooh, ringing out through again the back. Lovely. Slowly, slowly we'll come back to center. We'll bring that left foot back to the inside of your right thigh and allow the knee to drop open. So again, you can either, if the knee doesn't feel comfortable, you can either bring the foot lower down or again, just prop it up, something underneath your knee there. So arms lift you up, take an inhale. Exhale, come all the way down over that right leg. And again, you can always use the left hand on the outside of your foot, your shin or your thigh, if you feel that you're veering off slightly. So if you can bring your chest and your belly over that right leg. And never worrying if one side feels a little stiffer than the other. I think we're all quite asymmetrical, well, I certainly am. Lovely. Great one again to stretch out through the hamstrings, which again can affect our back, our lower back. Lovely, we'll sit ourselves all the way up, coming to that little zigzag leg. So again, if that wasn't for you, you can just take the leg out on the diagonal or bending the right knee, just tucking the shin in behind you. Left hand to the floor, right arm reaches up. Option to stay there or lift the hips. So you look back towards that left hand, push the hips forwards and up. So you're coming into a gentle back bend. Nothing too crazy, lovely. And then hand sweeps in front of the face as you lower the hips all the way down and stretch the legs out in front of you. Give them a little bit of a bounce. Beautiful. And then bringing the heels just close in towards you. You can bring the hands to the floor, hold on around the backs of your legs as you roll yourself down onto your back. And then straighten the legs, float the arms all the way back into that lovely axial extension, full spinal extension. Lovely, reach the fingertips back, point the toes. Gorgeous. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring that right knee in towards the chest, just as we did at the beginning, hugging that knee in. Lovely. That might feel a little bit different now. So we're going to come back into a hamstring stretch, but this time the option is to really dig into that left heel, plant it down, keep the leg extended as you hold on around the back of the right leg and take the leg up towards the ceiling. Now, if that doesn't work for you, both feet strongly flexed, just bring that left foot back to the floor, knee points up towards the ceiling, just as we did at the beginning. So we got the option to stay there, chin just tucked in, soften the shoulders, relax the muscles in your face. Or slide the hands up the leg, bring your nose towards your knee. Elbows just tucked in. Coming into that lovely rounding through the upper back. Lovely. Take one more inhale. Exhale, lower the head, lower the shoulders. Bring that right knee back in towards the chest. If you'd bent your left leg, let's try and straighten it out once more. Left hand to right knee. Right arm, just let it drop down alongside you as you roll to the outside of that left leg, bringing the right knee across the body into a little twist. Now, some of you did this Wednesday. You can stay there in stillness or have a little rock. So as you inhale, you come out of that twist. And as you exhale, you very gently just try and ease that right knee over to the left. So we're not forcing, we're just very gently rocking in and rocking out of that twist. My right shoulder's not completely on the floor. Again, it's kind of dropping down as I release and then lifting up a little bit. Lovely. Let's come all the way onto our backs. Release the leg, bring the arms all the way back. That lovely axial extension last time. Take an inhale. Exhale, left knee coming in now. Ooh. Sometimes it's really nice to do the same kind of stretches at the end as at the beginning. You can kind of notice maybe, oh, okay, the knee's coming in a little bit more comfortably there, hopefully. So option to keep the right leg extended, really dig that right heel in towards the floor, toes up towards the ceiling as you extend the left leg up. And if that feels really tight, again, rebend that right knee, planting the foot to the floor, lovely. So both feet active here. Option to stay there, or again, lifting our nose to knee. So the elbows tuck in, not flaring out. So we're keeping the upper back nice and kind of switched on there. Lovely, chin tucked in. Let's take one more inhale. And then exhale as you lower down. We bring the left knee to the chest, right hand to left knee this time. Just straighten out that right leg if it was bent. Left hand drops down to the floor. And then we roll to the outside edge of that right leg. So we're bringing the left knee across the body. And again, you can stay there, just so the knee isn't touching the floor, the shoulder blades lifted, or just gently rock in and then rock out. So you're just kind of teasing the body into that twist. I quite like a little bit of movement there. I'm not bouncing, it's nothing forceful, it's just kind of, you know, sometimes when we hold a twist and it's tight, it can feel really uncomfortable. But when we just rock in and rock out, it feels a little bit nicer. Lovely. And then we'll roll all the way onto our back, bringing that left knee to the chest, and then let's bring the right knee in too. So one hand on each knee. So have a little rock, have a little circle there, just massage the lower back, around the tops of the buttocks. And then coming to stillness, give those knees a little hug, so you're just feeling a lovely rounding through the lower back, you know, tailbone lifting up. And then maybe bring your nose towards your knees, so the upper back getting a nice stretch. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Lovely. And then lower the head, lower the shoulders. Let the feet drop down to the floor. If you need to whiz off, thank you very much for coming along. I'll see some of you on Wednesday this week. If you're ready, just for a few moments, just to chill out before the day begins, for the rest of the week. Walk your feet nice and wide and allow your inner knees to rest against each other. Bring one hand and then the other just to rest on the lower belly, elbows nice and wide. You might want to adjust the position of your head. If you want a blanket or a jumper, feel free. And just allow the spine to settle. So it's called constructive rest. And with our knees bent and supporting each other, supporting one another, the feet nice and wide, it just gives a little release for the lower back. It's kind of less intense than lying fully outstretched. So really enjoying that support that this pose offers there as you close your eyes very gently there. And just bring your awareness now to the back of the body. Just allowing the shoulders once more to soften away from the ears. Just noticing that natural curvature of your spine. So as your chin is tucked in ever so gently towards your chest, you've got that little space between the floor and the neck. And as you travel down the spine, you feel that broadness across the shoulder blades, a nice flat plate. Your middle back, back of the ribs. Then again, as you travel down the back body, some of you might notice quite a deep arch around your lower back. Again, space between the back and the floor. And we're not trying to flatten out the natural curvature of the spine, which is more of an S shape. We're just allowing those points of contact that we have to become a little heavier. As you begin to slow your breath down, breathing in through the nose. Again, nose, throat, down into the lungs. And slowing the exhale, lungs, throat, and out through the nose or the mouth. There's no effort, there's no counting needed. We're simply bringing our awareness to our breath. You might feel the movement of the chest And the belly beneath your hands there with each inhale and exhale. And now take your awareness to the back of your body. As you continue with that slow, even, and deep, steady breathing, can you notice whether the back of the body is moved very subtly by the breath? Maybe you noticed each inhalation expands the back of the body, allowing it to press a little bit more gently into the floor beneath you. And then as you exhale, can you feel that softening and releasing of the back of the body? The broadening of the collarbones, allowing the back of the shoulder blades to melt into the floor. Inhaling. As the chest lifts and the belly lifts, you feel that corresponding gentle pressing of the back body into the floor. And as you exhale and release, the front body softens, so the back body can relax and release. Let's take 5 more rounds of breath here. Feeling that gentle interplay between the breath and the movement within the body. With each exhale, see if you can just let go. Allow the space between your shoulder blades, across the back of the hips, maybe even the soles of the feet to become a little heavier, letting go. You've taken your 5 deep breaths, no rush. Just allow the hands now to drop down very gently alongside the body, turning the palms up towards the ceiling. Allowing the breath now to settle back into a comfortable and sustainable rhythm for you. As you gently begin to wiggle your fingers. Maybe take a gentle roll across the back of your head. Chin just rolling across the collarbones. And coming back to center, just walking your feet a little closer apart, a little closer together, sorry, and then bringing your knees in towards your chest. So option to take the knees round in a circle, have a little rock side to side, or simply linger in stillness. Sometimes it's just nice to hug the knees. It's quite comforting there. And then as you bring the feet to the floor, just rolling onto your right side or your left side, and just pause there for a minute. So if you can bring your knees up towards your chest. So again, you feel that lovely rounding through the back as you bring your chin towards your knees up towards your chest there. In the fetal position. And then using that top arm to help you. Just gently press the floor away when you're ready. And bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position using whatever props are necessary underneath your sit bones to, again, elevate the spine so you're sitting up nice and tall. The hands, palms down again, just resting on your knees or your thighs. Lovely. We'll slide the hands back towards you so the elbows draw in towards your rib cage. Fingertips pointing towards the knees. As you inhale, press down with the hands, draw the shoulders up. And as you exhale, allow the shoulders to soften, chest to stay nice and lifted. Lovely. Twice more. Inhale, shrugging up. Exhale, letting go of whatever last week brought. Let it go, let it go. Last time, inhale. This time as you exhale, letting go of any anxieties, worries, concerns about the week to come. Lovely. Bringing the hands together at the heart. Dropping your chin down towards your chest. Lifting breastbone to meet thumbs. So there's a little bit of lifting up and out of the hips. Lovely. And take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, just bowing forwards, thanking one another for sharing a practice this morning. Spring practice. and namaste. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Go and enjoy some spring sunshine this week, hopefully. Hopefully. But yes. Thank you for coming. I hope you